Hey, I'm Cole Swindell, and you're listening to Like a Farmer.
This might be one of the easiest shows to do just because of our relationship, man.
Dude, I know. Like I said, this is really cool to finally get a chance to do it. Been wanting to for a while, and our schedules, been busy, but we're finally connected here in Florida, man. Your spot.
My home state.
That's right.
Right. Cole had to come to me to come on the show, man.
That's what I said. Because like I said, man, we tried to do this a couple times. It just didn't work. And this time I said, I'm coming to you. We're going to plan the tour down here. So, I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this, man. It's good to see you as always.
I think it's something to be said that, and you've done this every year. We've been friends now for 5 or 6 years, but like, usually it's towards the latter time of the day. Mm-hmm. You're not one of the first people that text me, but you always text me and wish me a happy birthday. Yeah. And like sometimes people don't realize like what that means. So like, hey man, I'm checking in on you. I hope you have a great day. You deserve this, like that type of stuff. And you did that the other day, and it's like, hey, this means more than you know when you're coming on the show.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, you didn't have to twist my arm. Like I said, I've been wanting to do this, and I know I almost missed the birthday, but like I said, man, it's our schedules are crazy. We don't get a chance to hang as much, and it's just cool to be able to play a show tonight and get to kind of be here in your world, man. I've been, like I said, I was telling you before, I've been keeping up, and I see Like a Farmer everywhere. It's really cool. So I love seeing good people do good, and you're the definition of that, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hey, you're a father now.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean, and a baby girl, too. Like, it's one of those things.
Like
hey,
ultimate.
Cole's going to be a dad. Girl, it is. I have a gift for you.
Raise it up a level, yeah. What you got? Oh, no way.
This is what you need as a girl dad.
Oh, I can
and that one,
hopefully it'll be a few years before I have to.
And it'd be one of those things you have to pass down to your firstborn and all of that.
Absolutely.
That one was one of my favorite pieces from Case Knife.
Oh, my God.
Man. Oh, I know. The glossy black.
That is beautiful.
Pretty cool,
right?
Right?
Thank you so much. Absolutely.
What
classic.
When you think about being a father, and one thing that I love about you, like you've gone through hell and back, you've gone through life experiences, and when you do that, you're now a teacher to other people. Like, what are some things as fatherhood has come into your life that now you can kind of give back to people that are becoming new fathers?
I could tell, from the minute me and Courtney were pregnant, just the way people talked about it and how genuinely excited, whether I knew them or not, strangers, friends. You could just tell there was something different about it. Not that many people talk about things like that in life the way they do about being a father. So I knew I was in for a wild ride, and especially, like you said, man, finding out a girl. I mean, on top of that, I just, I could have gone either way. I'd love to have a boy someday, but seeing Courtney, her reaction to having a girl, that's what she's always dreamed of. She was born to be a mom, and to have that moment, man, is just something. I think it's like anything else in life when, and we'll get to it, but like whether it's getting engaged or being married, it's one of those things when you go through it, you realize everybody was right. They were telling you the truth. And also, what can I do to influence it, like tell people this is the best thing in the world? Like this is why people talk about it like that. And I think it just gives you perspective. And I think, I'm so fortunate to get to do what I love for a living. My beautiful wife, Courtney, has saved me in more ways than we have time to talk about. And just to have this we share together, a little girl, it's the best. I feel like we've done some cool things in our life, but there ain't nothing like this, man. And like I said, for me to be the one now, after hearing people for 9 months tell me how special it is now, I get to tell other people, it's just, I see why people talk about it and why people encourage you to settle down, have a family, man, because it really does. It's life-changing. And I've, like I said, I'm so fortunate, but now the perspective it gives you, and in this business and entertainment, whatever it may be, it's, and the social media world, I mean, it's comparison. What's next? How do I top this? And man, when I'm holding her, looking at her, it's like nothing else matters. And it's just, I've never had anything like that makes you feel like that. So man, being a dad it's everything everybody cracked it up to be. And I hope, like I said, it was a great point you made. I think we do take our life experiences, the good, the bad, and if nothing else, I've always said that as well, as at least you can help somebody going through it. But this is a good thing in life that, I can't, I'll be sure to give advice when I can, but I think right now I'm just figuring it out, man. But that's the beautiful part about life, is figuring it out with, with Courtney and her family to help has been amazing too. So
it's one of those things where, and we're sitting here today, we're in Hollywood, Florida, at the Hard Rock Casino. Yep. Hell, we were last year. I think the show I went to was in Key West. So anytime Cole's playing like a fun venue, you can find me there.
Yeah.
But how does it feel today when you think about, you've been doing this a long time?
I know.
And I don't want to, but
no,
everybody's heard the story of like, hey, Cole was the merch guy for Luke
absolutely.
when Luke just started. But like, dude, you've been doing this a long time.
I know. And it's, you have to stop as fast as everything's moving. You have to stop and think about it as much as sometimes I don't want to. But it helps to think about, like I said, put things in perspective. If you'd have told me the day I was moving to Nashville, or anybody for that matter that thought I was crazy that any of this would have happened, I wouldn't have believed you. And but yeah, but that is part of my story. The selling his T-shirts. Everybody's got a door, and I love hearing other people's opportunities. What was your break? Who believed in you first? And to have that kind of story and a career that's lasted this long, like I said, I want to keep doing it for a long time, but also you have to stop and think, I'm thankful to have gotten this far. And it sometimes you think it's kind of bittersweet. It's like, man, I'm not the new guy anymore. When you're new, everybody's like, oh, what's this guy about? What's his songs? And then, to stay in the business, it's a grind, man, and everybody's got their own trajectory. Whether some people start off on fire and it kind of levels out, some people start slow, and then there's no really perfect recipe. I think it's just, you have to know that you put your blinders on and this is my path, and that's way easier said than done when you're going through the ups and downs. But like I said, when you get to do what you love and there's people that are coming out to support you, I don't know. I've always been a fan of sports, music, just, all that. And to be able to do what I love for a living, man, and have people that support me is just, I don't know, it's incredible.
If you go to your Spotify, and we're talking about anytime that you throw out a hit, we're talking about it's millions of streams and everything. But you go through this whole consistency of like, hey, I'm Cole Swindell. And then like Heads Carolina come out, and then boom, you're back on top.
Yeah.
But how do you mentally kind of stay in focus of like, hey, this is what I'm going to continue to do?
Yeah, and that's the beauty. I've always said, the power of music, and not just music, but a song. And as a songwriter, that just gives you hope no matter what's going on, whether you're on top of the world or you think this may be the last song you ever put out. It just, one song can change everything. And for me, that whole She Had Me at Heads Carolina situation, honestly, I had no idea what to expect with that. I didn't. A song that I grew up with, I specifically remember in the mid-'90s riding with my mom, annoying her, singing every word to every song, but Jody Messina, that song, to years later, be in Nashville, get to put my own spin on it, and it kind of, like I said, at that point, I'll be honest, my career was fine, but I needed that song, and for it to be a song I grew up with, but I got to, put a spin on it with the original songwriters and get to do a version with Joe D. It's just like, man, I don't know. It's just everything. I've had so many examples in my career, in my life, where I think I know how things are supposed to go, and I want to control it, and it's just, sometimes it works out, obviously, way better than you could ever planned it, and that was one of those things, man, and that, the power of a song, the fact that it was that one is just, yeah, I'll take another. I need another one, man. Those are hard to come by. So it's just, you enjoy it and know that, hey, I might never have another one like this, or I could have another one that gets me back going and puts me back in the center
Absolutely.
of things. It's just that's the cool thing about it.
Can you take me back a little bit when you were with Luke selling merch, kid? Yeah. Did you ever think you were going to be where you are today?
No. I dreamed of that, and I like I said, I kind of, I don't know if I gave myself enough credit. I think I knew that I thought about things differently as a songwriter, and I knew that if I never wrote a song good enough, if I never got a record deal, I knew I had to be in the business. That nothing, at that time had ever made me feel the way music did, and I just knew I had to be around it no matter what, whether I was. And I think a lot of that, not having a backup plan, leaving Georgia Southern a little early before I was done, I think that motivated me. I don't think I ever saw this, and that is, you think everybody's heard your story, like the Luke selling T-shirts, but there's going to be people watching this that had no clue. And that's cool because to me, yeah, I've told it a lot of times, but that could inspire somebody. If I can, chase a dream and do whatever it takes to get there, then so can they. And I think Luke was somebody that, from my college years, and not just Luke, but Alan Jackson, Travis Tritt, Trisha Yearwood. I mean, all these Georgia artists that I looked up to. There's still a lot of artists and songwriters coming from Georgia, I'm sure, but at that time, I mean, there was a lot of people from the state, and people were like, "What's in the water?" And I think it's seeing somebody that grew up right, even though you didn't grow up together, right down the road from you. Well, if they can do it, maybe you're just crazy enough to think maybe I have a chance, even though that's, might not seem logical to the rest of the town. But it's just, people like Luke and people that come before me, and I hope that if I've inspired one person to, whether it's writing songs or doing something else, that people tell them like, I don't know if I'd do that, but go give it a shot, man. That was that led me to moving. And Luke, he hired me my first job selling his T-shirts, but I knew that if I didn't go, something may hold you back. There were so many people that probably wish they could move to Nashville or whatever, and I had the opportunity. I didn't know.
Because of that is why you moved to?
I mean, that's what I knew I wanted to be a songwriter, and I wanted to move. I didn't know. He pretty much told me, he's like, if you quit school, I'm not hiring you. Like, pretty much, and now being in this position, I would never recommend doing what I did. It just happened to work out. But I'd been in town not even a month probably. I was applying downtown, Broadway, bar back, whatever. And he happened to need a merch guy, and I needed a job. And that's just kind of, I went out there and to, for him to take a chance on me. I wasn't obviously the best merch guy in the world, but to get to see somebody that now look at what, the world looks at Luke at now. I mean, I've always seen him like that, like since college years. I mean, before the rest of the world knew who he was, I was like, this guy is a huge star. And to get to see how he treated people, the way he handles things, it was just what a blessing looking back. Yeah, I didn't want to be behind the merch table. I dreamed of being up there on that stage, but little did I know I was getting to watch one of the best to ever do it. The way he went about things, and it just I thank God that I got to learn from somebody that kind of took me in and treated me like a little brother, man. And it's just like I said, now how do you thank somebody for something like that other than the buddy of mine out here, Graylin James, on tour, like stuff like that, like finding people I believe in and just seeing myself in them right where I was at that time. It's like, man, I think that's how we say thank you, sometimes at least.
Dude, it's underrated about because I know how you are. You're a guy that like wants to give back, and you understood what was given to you, so you feel like you have to do the same. Yeah. Graylin just came on the damn show, and that dude, we couldn't stop talking about you. I mean, there's a lot of people out there like, yeah, Cole's my guy. He's done a lot for me. So you're giving back, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that's like you said. It's you want to encourage people because that's sometimes it is. You look around, it's like you feel undeserving of this, but you also know there's a lot of people in your corner. There's a lot of people that give their time and sleepless nights to help you, and I do appreciate them and people like Graylin, like I said, to see him at this point, like right there, he's writing hit songs. He's got his own songs that are doing great out there. It's just it's exciting to see, man. So
early on, and I'm curious on kind of where you're at now, because just like I was telling Graylin's one of the best storytellers out there. I mean, dude, it's every song, especially more recently coming out, it's like, I wrote this by myself. It don't matter what you have experienced. And like if you turn on You Should Be Here, and I started when I say jamming to that, like I truly mean jamming to that when I lost my uncle to brain cancer. It's like, that's one of those touching songs. It's like, man, this is what music is, kind of what's helping me get to this next.
Yep.
Whether it's just feeling okay about what happened, accepting about what happened, whatever it is. But have you always been more of like, hey, I'm kind of putting out songs that I've experienced or I've dealt with or I grew up with, just like Heads Carolina. I mean, we get it. You didn't write it, but you put your own swing on it, and you're listening in the car as a young kid.
Yeah, and it just kind of depends. I mean, I think, when you have a song, the ones that are personal, I feel like those are always my biggest songs. But not big, but they connect. It's because, as a songwriter, I say, music's always been there for me. I mean that, ever since I remember back when my parents split and Clay Walker had a song, there was this woman, there was this man, this woman and this man, and I don't even, however old I was, for me to want to turn that up, thinking that my mom might hear that, and it might, that to be thinking like that at that age, whatever that was. I mean, I didn't know it then, but I mean, I just feel like music I knew the power of it, and it hit me different. I felt it differently than maybe some people, and to now be on the other side of that, to be able to share things I've gone through, things I wish I'd have never. I say it every night on stage before you should be here, or during it. I say, this is one of those I wish I'd have never had to write, but in all reality, songs like that are why I think we love music, especially country music, the storytelling aspect of it, the way that a song can say exactly what you're feeling, and like that one right there, it's just in my show, and to have that, she had me at Heads Carolina and fun stuff, and then you have that moment, and it's just, as an entertainer, as I want them to have fun out there, but there's somebody, I've learned a lesson hard way a few years ago. I didn't play that song because the crowd was up and it wasn't a full show. I was like, let's keep it going. And I got a message from a lady that drove 3 hours to see that one song, and I said, I'll never not sing it again. And I don't know why I didn't that night. It was weird. It was a shorter set, and like I said, you gotta.
It's like a vibe check.
It really is. It's like, man, people. Yeah, I got another song I can get them back up with after this. It's just that some people need to hear that, and for me to be able to share my personal experience, and then, like whether it's your uncle or the older you get, you're losing people that. It's just, you hear other people's stories and you realize, man, well, I was fortunate to have my dad for 30 years. There's people out there that's always, it puts it in perspective. There's somebody out there that's got it worse than you think you may have it right now. So it's just, it's like I said, trying to find the good, and sometimes the only good in things I've found, being able to write a song that helps people. But you mentioned it earlier, like being able to use those experiences to help people.
Yeah.
I think that is, how do you find something good in losing, someone you love that early? It's just, other than, well, if I can help somebody else get through it, then that's at least, that's what they would have wanted me to do. And that was my dad.
It's one of those songs that will always be here. And like, hey, I'm sad as shit.
Yep.
I am.
Yep.
And I'm going to listen to that. Or you know what? My grandpa did just die. Hey, Riley Green, I need grandpa's never died.
It almost sounds, listening to you say that, it's like, that makes sense. Why would you want to put yourself through that? But if you're like me, and there's people out there watching, that's what I need. Like some people, I always say, some people turn that down or I turn it up.
Yeah.
That's what, and you know why? Because I think it's knowing that whether you know the person or not, they're on your radio, and whether me and you, we're buddies, but it's like that person, whoever it may be, they know how it feels. And that's all we're looking for when we're going through something like that, is some kind of feeling that, hey, I'm not alone in the way this feels, and unless you're going through it, it's really no way. Think about how many times before I went through that, I sent, God, I can't imagine what they're going through. What would that be like? And then you're in the middle of it, and you're like, this is what that's like. And you just have to, like I said, man, that makes you, it makes you thankful for the things you have. And I wish it weren't things like that sometimes that brought it to our attention.
Yeah, it's just needed, though.
I was
in Heather Flowers lost her dad. It was probably 2 weeks before the show. And then this was years ago, man. We came to see you play in Savannah, Georgia. Mm-hmm. You play You Should Be Here. And, like, she starts bawling, but sometimes it's like, hey, that's what I needed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a song that's like, that could go down as your best song ever.
And that's...
just because of the people that it reached.
Thank you. And like I said, I've said that before, if that is my best song ever written, then I'm good with that. That I know that song helps somebody. I have some songs that help people maybe have a good time.
Yeah.
That right there, there's other things that can help people. That song is, like I said, I'm proud of it. The fact that people have shared their stories with me, and I hope they know that how much it's helped me as well. Not just me sharing mine, but them sharing theirs. And like I said, man, country music, it's a family. I really do. I feel like that. The fans are, they're one of us. It's amazing.
You said earlier about it's usually those songs that have the most impact that are actually true stories. Mm-hmm. Is there any this Make Heaven Crowded?
Yeah.
I mean,
this is
that's
yeah. I mean, that is like you see,
ones.
like I said, it's new. It's something that was totally unplanned, and I'll try not to go on a tangent, but this is unlike anything I've ever had in my career. I told you, I just put out my latest album, Spanish Moss, which took me a little longer to finish than I wanted. But and like I said, we got it out. The reaction was great. It felt good, but it just kind of, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but it just, I was down to be honest, and it was right before we were about to have a baby, and I just said, Courtney, should I just be a dad? I mean, I was really struggling. And I know that from the outside may be like, what? You're doing fine? That's fine. I know I am. It was just personal stuff. And she's like, have you prayed about it? And I said, probably not enough. And that was, when I started doing that. And then, to have a song like Make Heaven Crowded, another thing I wish I'd have never had to write that. And I don't know why it, takes things happening for us to wake up sometimes. But for me as a songwriter, I'd never had an idea like that. When I scrolled across Erika Kirk saying, Charlie, I see up there with Jesus doing what you always wanted to do, make heaven crowded. And I'd heard the phrase make heaven crowded or seen it. And it just.
So that's where it came from.
That's where it came from. Erika, and that's what I'm saying. That was not an accident like that. I'm out on the road. I'm, missing my family, and I come across that. And it wasn't even the make heaven crowded that hit me. It was when she said, doing what you always wanted to do. And being from a small town in South Georgia, I thank the Lord I was raised going to church. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I've wandered off the way, but it's just, God finds a way to pull you back. And sometimes it's with a gift he's given you that maybe you're not, doing what he thinks you should be doing with it. And I think this kind of song right here, a message like this is why I moved to Nashville. If we talked about You Should Be Here, if that and this song is the best, I'll go out on that, man. That is a message that I believe in, and I really do. And like I said, I've never had an idea like that come to me and know that's why me and Graylin, I immediately text him, Joel, my guitar player that's been my right-hand dude since the beginning of my career. I mean, it was just a special song. So me, Graylin, Joel, Blake Pendergrass finished it on the road. It was just one of those I knew we had to write. I didn't know what was going to happen with it, but I knew people needed to hear it, and it was, a timely message. And like I said, I hope it's a message that sticks around. I said that a couple of weeks ago about it seems like things like this bring us together, and then the world keeps spinning, we go back on our way. And I just hope that, like I said, man, lyrics are powerful. And this song was, I do want to say one thing that I didn't feel right writing it unless I kind of called myself out in the first verse. I do think that first line with Graylin James, genius, I've blamed my sinning on I ain't no saint. And to me, it just made me look in the mirror like, oh my gosh, dude, like how many times have I done that? And it's just, I think to write a song like that, I'm not preaching, I'm just saying, I think we can all, like, I've always tried to be good to each other. You're a good dude. I feel like that's what drawn us to each other. The first time we met, I was like, this guy is just like me. I could have grown up with him, I feel like. And that's not, to me, it just feels like with a platform that I have, that's just not good enough anymore. Keeping to myself, trying to be good to people. We need to be, spreading the good word and trying to get other people to be good to it. Just like it's contagious. I really do. And I feel like this country it's been through a lot as of recently, and with the Charlie Kirk stuff, and it's heartbreak, but not just that, it's something every other week. This song may say what we saw last week. That's what it was inspired by, but unfortunately there's a lot going on in our world.
Every
and
other day.
I hope it's a reminder that we're we got to start somewhere, and I think being good to each other is a good place.
Preach, baby. Hell yeah. That's awesome, man.
It was, like I said, it's just I've never had a prayer answered like that. And that what I left out from last thing I wanted to add about that song, and we can talk about something else, but I just, Courtney, when that song was written and we, put it out in the reaction, the people, I'd never had anything like just, you could tell people were sharing it and wanting other people to hear it. And Courtney looked at me, she said, I think that's your answer, because I'd prayed, should I hang it up? Do I need to be doing this? What am I supposed to be doing? And she's like, I think that's your answer. You are supposed to be doing this, but that's God saying you're not, going any further without me. And, like I said, every song can't be like this, but it is nice to be able to come back. It's never too late to get back on that road that I was raised on. And like I said, man, it's just to see the reaction. I know I'm not the only one feeling that way. Everybody wants this world to be a better place. And I think that's the thing. We can just want all we want, but like it takes us. It starts with us, so just be good to people, man. And we can, like I said, hopefully start seeing some healing.
And we should just end the show now. Are you kidding me?
No.
Hey, there's a new movie that I watched last night called Highest to Lowest by Spike Lee directed it. And I love Spike Lee. Yeah. Sometimes you got to really dig in on the message, but Denzel Washington was a legend.
Yeah.
But it was kind of, I think, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it was more of like, hey, when especially in music, everybody's doing shit for like clicks, clicks, and like that song right there is just like, no, this is what I feel like not only I need, but everybody needs. And I don't care if it does good or not.
Right.
I'm just saying I need to put it out.
And that's my thing. What I've been struggling with about it. We wrote the song. It's out there. I really do think a song like this, God's got His hand in it. It's going to get to where it needs to go. And of course, a message like this, it's I want to get it to as many people as I can, whatever that means. If it means radio, fine. If it doesn't, if it means just whatever avenue, talking to you about it right here, I just think it's a message worth sharing. And like I said, I think the reaction of everybody that's heard it and that feels the same way. It's just, I don't know, man. I've never been proud of a song the way I am, the way this came together. We put it out. I wasn't worried about what people were going to say about it. I just knew I've never felt I had to share a message like that in my life. I know it sounds weird, trust me, but it really, I've never had a prayer answered in the form of a song that was like, no, you're supposed to be doing this. Let's just, I need you to spread my name a little more. And
dude, that is awesome.
It's crazy.
Man.
It really is. It gives me chills thinking about it. And I've never wanted to. When we talked about doing this, I was like, man, I really do feel like maybe this is why it took a minute for us to get our schedules nailed down to do this, because now, where I am in my life, I feel like I've never had something to talk about like this ever.
You texted me that. You're like, Pat, timing probably is perfect here. Like,
and I just said, and I look back as many times I wish it would have worked out. I'm like, man, this is perfect, man. And like I said, I just sitting here talking to you now, and everything you got going on, man. Congrats to you.
Thank you, brother.
All that stuff, man.
I appreciate it.
Like
man.
I said, even that, like me, it took me a minute to settle down. But then when you do, and you realize that, man, this is where it's at. It's just when you see other people getting engaged or getting married, it's just you're just happy for them because you remember, man, I know what that did for me, and I know how that felt. And just when you see, especially people you know and you're a fan of them as a human being, seeing them happy is just that's what I say. There's so much negative out there. People always going to be trying to tear you down. Like, right now, I didn't want to tear anybody. I mean, this is if you're happy, I don't think you're doing that. I think you're focusing on your own thing, and I think it just shows you it's tough doing what we do and seeing the comments sometimes, but to know that there's positive stuff out there too, man. It's just we're fortunate. So like I said, I just wanted to tell you I'm happy for you. Can't wait to meet her, and we'll have to all hang sometime too.
I love you, man.
Yeah, love you too, buddy.
Hey, we play a game on the show. We got to switch to a game, okay? This game is called Give 'em the Boot, presented by TECOVAS. I got a brand new pair of TECOVAS for you.
No way.
And listen, these were like a little kind of off the wall, but I was like, you know what? That's cold right there. So I hope you like them.
That's one thing I love. You don't know, I'm such a huge TECOVAS fan, so it's the fact that
these are my favorite pair of TECOVAS I've ever seen in my life. And like, dude,
no way.
Aren't those cool, man?
Oh my God. Yes.
I love them. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely. I love this.
The color.
I do not have. I know it sounds like I just got a Christmas gift. Like I don't have that. I really don't.
I would hope not.
And I love, like I said, I love TECOVAS boots. I have so many pair, but it'd be hard to find one I didn't have. But this is it. But
okay, perfect.
Sweet.
So give them the boot.
Okay.
Cole, there's 4 questions inside that boot. You don't have to answer all of them. You can give one of them the boot. Nobody usually gives them the boot. They always answer all of them, but you can give one of them the boot.
So you got to let me know. I can't embarrass myself here.
Yeah, so you can give it the boot. Correct, yeah.
Here we
Question
go.
number 1.
Okay. What is the best advice you have received, and from who? Best advice. Quickly, my mom, the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated. That's obviously, I think, the best. But since we're talking about, career stuff, music stuff, I want to say, like, some of the best advice, and at the time I didn't even know it was advice. Bryan, I had sent him an email when I was in college just asking advice. Like, same way people ask me now about writing songs, what should you do? And I can only imagine now that I've seen all these, what he was thinking when I sent that, like, what do you say to this college kid? He wrote back one word. I said, to be a better songwriter, to write songs, what do I need to do? And he wrote back, live. And it, like, crushed me. I'm like, wow, he sent back one word. And the older I get, the more I wrote songs, I was like, that's the best advice as a songwriter you could ever get, is to live. Because how are you going to write about it if you don't live it? And that I'll always say that that helped me light a fire in my songwriting career. So.
Dude, that's spot on.
I know, but I remember being like so butthurt. Like God, he said that one word, live. Thanks, dude. I'm trying to live in Nashville if you'll help me. No, but Luke, like I said, that's one of my favorite stories. Let's see. What is the best sports moment of your life?
Oh, yeah. And now keep in mind, we're talking about Georgia Southern. We're talking about the Atlanta Braves.
Dude, this is
NFL.
So
Who do you root for in NFL, Cole?
Falcons. So, yeah. But like I said, I know you're boys with Josh. Tyler Bass is a buddy of mine. So I do,
Who were you cheering for when I was there on Monday Night Football in Atlanta?
I don't know. No, I'm a Falcons, but like you said, like getting to know people on teams that might not be your team. It's like, man, it's hard not to pull for good people no matter what team they're for. So the best sports moment, I think, for me, it's got to be going to Game 6 when the Braves won the World Series in 21. Up until then, watching them with my dad, I had some cool memories. But being there for that, after being at so many postseason games, that was something, I wish it happened a lot more often, but it makes you appreciate it. It's like, wow. I mean, that was the first glimpse of since the 90s when I was growing up that, we've done anything like that. It was just a cool moment. And for Snicker, he's been so good to me, man. I'm so thankful for everything that he's done, and they can't ever take that one away from us, man. That was a cool night in Texas.
I was about to say, you have a lot of, I feel like, relationships within that organization now where you're at. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Snit, I don't know who we're going to get next. I'm interested to see who's going to be leading the team, but Austin, Riley, Olsen, some of those guys.
Josh Freeman, did you have any?
Oh wow, no, I did. What's that? Did I?
Or is Freddie? Yeah. Why would I say Josh Freeman? No. Who is Josh Freeman? Is that a Bucks football?
Oh, wow,
Freddie,
that's good there.
Is that Freddie, the Bucks? Yeah. Freddie Freeman. Yeah. I don't know if you know him, but I just want to show his value because he goes to LA and they start winning. But anyways, how about Freddie? You have any interaction with that guy?
Oh, absolutely. Great human being. Another person that, like you said, you're a fan of him. You meet him, and it makes you even more of a fan. And he's just a good example, man. What a role model for kids. And just, like I said, he was one that, we hated to see go, obviously. But it's also, he's looking out for his family. He's doing what is best for him. And like I said, I think he feels that every time he comes back to Atlanta, that there's no love lost. As a Braves fan, business happens. And he's somebody we definitely miss. So, always wishing Freddie the best.
Love that. All right, question number 3.
Here we go. I might miss my show. I'm just hanging out. I'm sorry. What is your dream foursome? Let's see. We got to go.
And I would like to know where it would be, too.
Oh, my gosh. Probably me. Let's go Tiger. I gotta have Tiger in there. I mean, I've never met or played golf with him. That would be in there. Let's go Jack Nicklaus. And then I gotta, but my dad taught me the game, so I'd have to figure out how he could get there to play. So I got me, Tiger, Jack, my dad. That's
epic.
Like I said, I know, but honestly, I could, if I didn't do the Tiger and Jack thing. I mean, my brothers and my dad, one more round would be cool. But I'll go Augusta with Tiger, Jack, and my dad. So maybe my brothers could caddy for somebody.
That's awesome. Okay, that's a good one. We go. How is the golf game right now?
It's pretty good. Before Rainey was born, I was playing more golf than I've ever played. And Courtney, she's like, "You better go. Go. It's going to be hectic when she gets here." And I got my handicap down to like a 6.3, and I didn't really want to do that, but it just I was playing good golf, and then Rainey arrives, and I've played like 3 times since, and it's rough. That's why I've but like I said, I've never had a better reason to be tired and to let the golf game slip a little, man. It's like I said, talk about perspective. As much as I love golf, it's nothing I'd rather do than hang out with her. So, best Luke Bryan story of all time. Golly. Can't say that on here. I'm kidding. No, Luke, like I said, man, he is somebody that I don't know if I could ever thank enough other than to try to help people the way he's helped so many artists and help people believe in what they're doing. But I think for me would be just as a roast of myself here. He was on tour. I just got the job not long before that. He was on tour with Chesney doing stadium shows right off the bat. I mean, Luke's a new artist. Christ. He's freaking out. I'm freaking out. I mean, it's Kenny Chesney, and they're doing a show out at I can't remember. Anyway, he's doing a show there, and I'm new to the merch thing, and we try to ship his merch out there to some big. We have, and he didn't have a lot of stuff. He's one of like 5 acts on there, and we try to ship the merch to San Francisco. Well, little did I know I should have put attention Kenny Chesney, because the person that received the box was like Luke. Like, they didn't know that it was Luke's merch. So what I'm trying to say is we did not have merchandise on one of Luke Bryan's stadium shows with Kenny Chesney. In fact, merch is a big deal. I mean, that's, paying the gas and all that. And that's probably one of the lowest moments of my Nashville career of anything, is him not having merch at a Kenny Chesney stadium show. So I've always said, next show that I have in San Francisco, if I sell some merch, I think I need to just donate to that, whoever he wants me to, because I owe him for that, man. And leaving that, I mean, he knew I wanted to just fly home and just quit. Like, that was the worst. And if you know me, I mean, I don't like letting people down. That was just a rough one. But Luke, that's not the best story, but I'm not gonna tell that. So that was just a moment that I'll never forget. So I owe him for that.
What hey, they're your boots. You played the game. You get a brand new pair of boots.
Thank you,
man.
brother. These
Absolutely.
are awesome. Heck yeah.
Your mindset and your kind of creativity and your insight on this, I'm really interested in. When you think about, and I don't mean to age you, I'm not saying you're old, but you've seen absolutely. Country music and the changing that it's happening.
Absolutely.
Like, what are your thoughts on today's country music and how it's going? Because you've got your rock and roll country music, you've got your pop country music, you got your rap country, you've got it all.
I don't know. I've kind of always been one that I wish it was just music sometimes. I wish, people listened to what they liked and whatever. I don't know how you define what's country, what's not, but people dang sure try, and like I said, I've been through that. When I came on to the scene, music has shifted the sound of things, and I'm very aware of that. I know that, but the thing for me is I like that sound, but I grew up on 90s country music, and I love all kinds of stuff. I'm not just stuck with that, but it's just that's where music was. And now seeing it almost like come back to the old school and just the stuff, when you're a songwriter, you move, wanting to write Live Like You Were Dying or some of these songs, and it's like the old school stuff coming back, and it always will. It's always going to change and come back around. But I think, right now it's just in such a good spot because everybody has a chance. Used to, I think it was so hard if you didn't have a record deal to get your music out there. And now, like I said, there's pros and cons probably to all of it. But, social media is powerful, man. And like I said, my team, we laugh about all the time. I'm not the best at the TikTok stuff and all, but it is what it is. And like I said, that's somebody's avenue. That's somebody's door opening. That's somebody's chance. That was my merch gig. You know what I mean? Like, that was, I got to learn the business from a merch side. These people are, singing a song, and it's just, like I said, it's blowing up. And I don't know that that's sometimes the best thing. I think, everybody that moved to Nashville to chase a dream, it just, like I said, they used to have to go about it a whole different way. And now, it just seems, like I said, you don't necessarily have to have this or that. It's just you can make a name for yourself just by writing a song and singing it. And that, like I said, in a way, that's good for them. I had, doors that open for me, and sometimes I feel like this social media stuff is the door that some of these new artists need opening, and it's working for them. And like I said, man, when you're thankful to be where you are and realize that there's so many talented people and so many people that would, love to be where we are, it's just how are you, who's to say, well, who doesn't deserve it, or who, you're not country. Who am I to say that? It's just, like I said, I think it's more than the sound of a song or whatever. I think country's, who you are. And like I said, man, there's a lot of different sounds, and I'm all for just listening to what you like, and if you don't like it, change it.
And they're coming from all over the place because, hey, over the last million years, that Georgia to Nashville pipeline.
Dude.
And we're talking about names we don't even talk. Like you mentioned, you've got Luke Bryan, you've got John Langston. How about Cole Taylor? You can go, how about Gavin Adcock?
Dude,
that dude's coming in with a freaking punch right now.
It's Zach John King. Did I say he's from Georgia?
He might be.
I think he's from Georgia. There's just, like I said,
Megan Maroney's from Georgia,
Megan,
right?
Sam Hunt. Sam Hunt, came out together. There's just, That's what I'm saying. Zach Brown band. It never ends, and people are like, "What's in the water?" And I'm like, I don't know, other than people seeing people that grew up right down the road that can do. Why can't I? You know, and like I said, that doesn't always work like that. I'm not saying, but it just, you know, it's influencing people, and I think when, you know, every state has that. I think they've always said, you know, Oklahoma was like that, Texas. It's just people, you know, it gets hot, and people start, you know, showing or paying attention to the people from those states. It's
Absolutely.
Georgia's, like I said, I'm proud to be from Georgia. I don't get back there enough, but people ask me, where are you from? I've been in Nashville since August 2007. I still say I'm from Georgia. You know? But I love Nashville and just the community, music community.
And we just got to make it clear, you know, we're not cheering for the Bulldogs on Saturday. You know, we're cheering for Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's
so just because I'm from Georgia, don't mean I like the Bulldogs.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's like I said. I don't have I pull for Georgia over the state of Georgia sports over anybody. But Georgia Southern, like I said, that's
other than
Florida. Oh yeah, no, we're here. I'm not. I don't have I'm like I said, I'm Georgia Southern, but a lot of people do. They assume that, you know, I went to Georgia or I'm a fan. Like I said, I have 2 nephews that have graduated from Georgia. I'm so proud of, and we just got to play in Athens. The show was amazing. But for me, I grew up, you know, both my parents, my brothers, I'm the only one that didn't graduate from. They all graduated from Georgia Southern. I grew up going to the football games, sliding down the hill in the cardboard boxes. Erk Russell, just like I said, I mean, it's just it's tradition. And for me, I think when I came onto the scene and I just happened to throw on that Georgia Southern baseball hat, it could have been any hat, but that, and just to see, you know, random alumni and the crowds like, man, this guy's representing our small school. For me, I was always, you know, going to represent Georgia Southern, but it just, I don't know, I feel like they're proud that I represent where I came from. That's where my career started. And it just a lot of fond memories from growing up, man. Georgia Southern is, that's just.
You always got the hat on.
Absolutely. And that's, like I said, I'm just from the state of Georgia. I'm proud of it. But the Eagles, like I said, man, I take pride in that. And like, I always kind of think, you know, you and Josh, like Wyoming, a school that might not be, but.
And I heard you wear his jersey there.
I did. I had to, man. He's, like I said, I met him at Augusta right when he and Darnold, they were all coming out of the draft, and it was at one of those parties, and he came. I was like, oh my, I was like, this guy's huge. But I always admire that he went to Wyoming, and now, you know, the biggest names in football ever. I mean, it's cool to see. I don't know, when you come from a small school or whatever, it's just cool to see people like that succeed and to represent and be proud of where they come from, man. I think, you know, being from a small town in Georgia, I think you kind of grow up learning to be that way.
Yeah, both of those guys. It's all about who you surround yourself with.
Absolutely.
You know, and Sammy D and Josh and I get to hang out a little bit in the off season. Hey, Josh won the MVP last year. Sammy D's looking good this year.
Yeah.
Man, back-to-back MVPs.
Yeah.
What was the song? Talking about the Georgia Southern hat. We're about to, these. I know everybody's about to be mad because me and you could sit here and talk for about 10 hours, and you're gonna have to play here soon.
Meet and greet. Yeah.
Well, yeah, correct. Yeah, apologize. We're about to wrap it up. The Georgia Southern hat you always got. What's the song? I got my dog.
My shades on.
Yeah.
Top back. Rolling with the music. Yeah, chilling it.
Chilling it.
Yeah. That was the first.
So you always are repping because you had the Georgia Southern hat on.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of, I don't, you know, when I first, before I even had a record deal, Luke was out on tour, and that was when I think FGL was out there, Thompson Square was out, and Thompson Square had some issue where they couldn't do some shows, and they needed somebody to fill in last minute, and that's some of the first shows I did was that, and I just remember, like, I'm going to rep my college Georgia Southern baseball hat, and man,
just get after it.
Yeah, just get after it. Gotta, you know.
And that's why, you know, I'm giving you your flowers. You've seen these bands, you've seen these performers come, some of them go, and I'm talking about Cole Swindell. It's like, dude, it's like every year it's just a punch here and there, and it's like you just continue. And I don't like to say be relevant, because obviously when it comes to your consistency in this industry, it's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. But
and
we're
like,
trying
I love
to
that.
be. Yeah,
it's like
tough.
you need one of those hit songs, or you need to do this, you need to do that, and you've done such a beautiful job, man.
Yeah.
Like, you have no idea what you mean to me and what, like, you mean to a lot of people. I'm telling you, you got to watch the Grayland episode. I mean, even that kid, the dude, like, you're giving back so much, but you're humble, and you're hard on yourself sometimes, but I'm telling you, man, you're freaking, it's unbelievable what you're doing right now.
Thank you, brother. Like I said, man, sometimes you put places for people to say things like that. It means a lot, dude. Like I said, I know how fortunate I am, and I got a heck of a team that have helped me get this far, and we got a long way to go. So it's just cool, like I said, to how are we gonna get there? And I've always thought this, even back watching somebody on stage of a stadium, like, wow. But what do you do when you get there? It's like that. I hope it's in the the good stuff's in the getting there.
Yep,
and,
absolutely.
And it's just you got to stop and enjoy where you're at, because there's a lot of people out there that would trade our spots right now. So it's just you got to be thankful.
Before we leave,
Yeah.
what are you excited for? And usually I ask on the music side, and you got Spanish Moss and this and that, but you're a new dad, your golf game's good, not good enough, you're trying to get that down. Like, what in the next, before the end of the year, how about that? Like, what are you looking forward to?
I think when Rainey was born, I had like 2 weeks before the tour kicked off. Like, that wasn't planned like that. It just happened. And now we're, like I said, I think we're wrapping up the tour, and not to have 3 days home and then have to leave, man. I knew it was going to be hard. I mean, and people let me know, they're like, you wait, leaving, it's going to be tough. And it really is. But also, I'm so thankful that, there's people showing up to support me that, so that I can, provide for them. So I don't know, man. I'm ready to just, call it a year and get some family time in, and like I said, just focus on figuring out when I'm writing again, and just it's nonstop these days. You know what I mean? Now it's just people are putting out music so much. I'm gonna enjoy some family time, holidays, and then it'll be time to get back to work.
A little bit of golf.
A little bit of golf. Anytime you want to tee it up.
Yeah.
We got to get you back to Nashville.
Troubadour.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, you have no idea what you mean to me as, like, a true friend, and, like, the texts and the checking in and making sure I'm okay, and me doing the same to you.
Dude,
like,
everybody should do. Like I said, it's just we get caught up in our own lives sometimes, and it is not all about us, man. There's somebody, and I thought this the other day, it's like, we're always waiting around a blessing. Like, we want this, we want that. What if we are somebody's blessing? What if we're the only way they're going to get that is for us to sacrifice something and us to do something good for somebody? I mean, it's nice to get blessings, but man, being one to somebody else is that's it.
Thanks to our crew too. I mean, the Mark Masseys of the
absolutely,
world,
dude. The people that
everybody that brought us all together.
Absolutely, man. And those people, like I said, like Massey and the Lees and the people that I grew up around, and Frankie and them people I've known forever. It's like they known us before any of this was going on, and those are the people, like I said, man. I know I don't get to thank them enough, but I love them, and I wouldn't be here without them.
Appreciate you, brother.
Love you, bud.
Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in every single Wednesday to catch me on YouTube or wherever you listen to your audio podcast. Another episode of Like a Farmer, and after that episode, I might have to talk Cole Swindell and starting his own podcast. I mean, that was awesome. Y'all continue to tune in, like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do to be like a farmer.